So, okay. So, in the last class, we have seen working with what here? Pandas, right? So, we started Pandas, and Pandas stands for Panel Data System. And Pandas is an open source library for data analysis, data manipulation, and data visualization, right? And I said Pandas provide two data structures. One is a series, and one more is what? Data frame. Okay. So, okay. Now, this is how you are working with. So, there are two data structures are there. One is series and one more is what? Data frame, right? So, I said what is a data analysis is. Okay. Now, these are the different steps in data analysis. And next, I said you what is a series is. So, Pandas series. Okay. Pandas series, right? So, series is one more. Two data structures are there in Pandas. One is a series and one more is what? Data frame, right? And if you see what is a series is, I said series is one dimensional array object. And the series represent what? The series represent one column in MS Excel. If you take MS Excel, right? In MS Excel, one column represent what? One series. And rows and columns represent what? Data frame. Okay. One column represents series, and this rows and column represent one data frame. So data frame is a collection of rows and columns here, right? So Pandas series is one dimensional array object, and this object can hold data of any type. It can be integers, float, string, or Python objects. And Pandas series represents are equal to column in what? Any database. That can be MS Excel or Oracle or MySQL, or what is that? SQL Server. Then what is a data frame is? Data frame is a two-dimensional array object or data structure, and data stored in which format here? Tabular format. So which is nothing but rows and columns. So your data frame consists of three components. One is a data, and second one is rows, and third one is a columns. So data frame is just like worksheet. So what will happen? There is a data will be there, and there is a column headers will be there, and there is a row headers will be there. So like if you take MS Excel, so there is a column headers, A, B, C, D, E, F. These are called as column headers. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are called as row headers. And here you will type what? Data. Okay. So data frame is equivalent to a worksheet in what? MS Excel. Okay. So we can install the pandas by saying pip install. What you are installing here? Pandas. And I said, what is a collab? Yesterday we have seen collab or collaboratory allows you to write and execute Python in your browser with zero configuration is required and free access to what here? GPUs and easy sharing, whether you are a student, a data scientist, or AI researcher. Collab can make your work what here? Easier. Okay, so Pandas series is there. Yeah, we'll just open the collab. So, okay. Now, once you open this, so next is, now this is Pandas series. Now, series is a single dimensional array like object with homogeneous or heterogeneous what? Data. So, series is a single dimensional array like object with homogeneous or heterogeneous data. And series object can be created in different ways. How can you create a series object using array? You can create it using what? Dictionary. You can create it using scalar values. You can create it using other iterables. Any iterable you can use it. So for creating what here? Series. And series is a name of the class or the type which is used to construct which object here? Series object. Series is the name of the class or type which is used to construct which object? Series object. And this is a syntax. You are writing a series. It followed by what? Data. And followed by the index. And followed by what here? Data type. So data is nothing but source. You are creating a series using array. You are creating a series using dictionary. You are creating a series using scalar values. Okay, using other iterables, right? So this you can call it as what here? Data. And index is nothing but access labels. Means how you want to access the values from the series. So generally you can access it by using numeric index, or you can give your own access labels. You can give your own access labels to access values from what here? Series. You can give your own access labels for reading values from the series. For example, if you take this is one series, right? Okay, so there is a 10, 20, 30, and there's one more which is a 40. So internally each value is identified with the index. Okay, so that index starts with 0, 1, 2, and one more is what? 3. Apart from this, you can also define your own access labels, and that you can call it as which one? Index. I can give the name as, suppose I can give this value as an access label as A, B, C, and this is what here? D. So I can access it by using numeric index, or I can use access labels. Like I can access this 10 with what here? A, and I can access this 20 with what here? B. I can access this 30 with what here? C. I can access this 40 with what here? D. So I can access with what names here? Access labels like A, B, C, and what is that? D. Or I can use a numeric index like 0, 1, 2, and 3. Anything I can use it to read the values. Now series, and it followed by data, and followed by index, and followed by which one? Data type. So data is there, and index values must be hashable and must be what here? Unique. And type of the series is defined using which one here? Data type. Which type of series? That is defined by the data type here. Okay. So import pandas, and you are creating one empty series. So how you are creating empty series? Some s equal to pandas dot. So I just create a series, and this you can call it as which one here? Empty series. Yeah, you can see the but here given deprecated warning. So the default data type of empty series will be object instead of what here? Float. In future version, now it's saying that specify data type explicitly to silence this warning. To avoid this warning, you can simply write data type. Okay, data type. So I need to import here. So numpy has what here? NP, and NP dot which type here? Object type. So once I run this, now here you don't have any warning, right? Yes. So it's saying again warning, np dot object is deprecated alias. So what is saying that to silence this warning, use object by itself. Okay. I can give directly which one here? Object type. So rather than giving object, right? Yes. Because object is a base class for all the classes in what? Python, right? So yeah, now this is creating with series? Empty series. Admits, is it this series as having any values? No, there's no values inside this series because this is which series here? Empty series. Now creating a series using a list. You can also create a series by using which one here? List. So how can you create a series using list? Okay, you can insert the code cell here. Now series 1 equal to pandas dot series. I'm creating a series with a list of values. So how many values are there in the series here? 5 values. Now if I print a series 1, now the series is having how many values? 5 values. Now you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are called as access labels, or the same thing you can call it as what? Index. So what is the index of 10 here? 0, and 20 is a 1, and 30 is a 2, and 40 is a 3, and 50 is what here? 4. So you're trying to access this 10 by using a numeric index called what? 0. You're accessing 20 by using a numeric index called 1. You're accessing 30 by using a numeric index called 3. Okay, like this you are trying to access what here? Values. Okay. You can also give your own access labels, pandas.series. So I'm trying to create a series using a list. Now these are 5 values. And I try to give my own access labels. Like there is a and B is there, and D is there, and then one more is a E. So if I'm trying to print a series, now this is printing series. Now when you print the series, you can see 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. You're accessing this 10 with a label called A, and 20 is accessed with the label B, and 30 is accessed with the label C, like that. But you can have internally numeric index to access these values. You can use a numeric index. To access these values, you can use what? Access labels. That is A, B, C, D, and one more is what? E. You can use access labels or you can use index. Now you can create a series using ND array. You can also create an array. You can also create an array by using array. Also you can create a series. Now you can see np dot nd array. So here I created array object with how many values here? 5 values. But here I try to store how many values inside this array? 5 values. Now this is updating the array. And using that array, I try to create what here? Series. So you can create a series by using which object here? ND array object. You can create a series by using which one? Array object. You can also create a series using which one? Dictionary is there. Now we can create a series using dictionary, or we can pass the dictionary object to what? Series. We can create a series using dictionary, or we can pass the dictionary object to what? Series. And series object is using dictionary values as what here? Data. Series object uses dictionary values. Series object uses which one? Dictionary values as what here? Data. And dictionary keys as what here? Index labels. Series object is using dictionary values as data, and dictionary keys as what here? Index labels. Okay. Now if I want to create a series, I can create a series like this also by using dictionary. Dictionary is having key and value. So I just take some 2010. Okay, now these are the sales. Assume that these are the sales here. Okay, 2011 sales, 2012 sales, like this. 2013, okay, sales. Like this, I try to define the sales here. Okay, 2000. So this is for some 14 sales like this. Now this is one dictionary. I want to convert this dictionary into what? Series. Then I'll say pandas dot series, and I just take here what? Dictionary. So print series 3. Now, if you print a series 3, now you can see, so data type is integer and 45,000, 55,000, 56,000, 65,000, and 78,000. All these are what here values. But you can access these values by using the key. So what is the key here? Here. So key means what your index. This key is nothing but what your index. See, I can access this values from the series using numeric index. I can access the values from the series by using what? Access labels. I mean, now series allows customized access labels. So actually I can give my own access labels. I can give what my own access labels. Now 45,000 is there. This 45,000 is accessed with what year? 2010. This 55,000 is accessed with what? 2011. And this 56,000 is accessed with what? 2012, like that. And it is also accessed with what? 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can also access with the index. Okay. Now suppose employee dictionary is there. So there is a name and value, name and value, and name and value. Name and salary, name and salary, and name and salary. Now here it will take the names as what? Access labels. Here it will take the names as what? Access labels, and salary says what here? Values. Name says an access labels, and salary says what here? Values. Okay, name says an access labels, and salary says what here? Values. So that is done by using this particular approach, right? So creating a series using which values? Individual values, which is nothing but scalar values. If the series is created using scalar values, we must define what here? Index. So this index defines the length of the series. Now you are saying pandas dot series. Now 15 is a value. Actually, what is 15 is value. I want to repeat that 15 how many times? 5 times in the series. So series 1 equal to pandas dot series. Now this is a value 15, and I'm just writing index equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this series having how many values? 5 values. The series is having how many values? 5 values. Now, if the same value is repeated how many times here? 5 times. So 15 is repeated how many times here? 5 times. 15 is repeated how many times here? 5 times it is repeated. Okay. So in the same way, accessing data from series. Now series is index based collection, and we can read and manipulate data using what here? Index. Okay. And this index starts with what here? 0. And you can also access with access labels also. For example, I'm creating one series. Okay, series 1. Okay, pandas dot series. I'm creating a series with the list of values. Now, when I print a series 1, it will print all the values from the series. But if you want to read a specific values, you can read it by using a numeric index S1 of 0, S1 of 1, S1 of 2, and S1 of 3, and S1 of what here? 4. So we are trying to access by using numeric index, and that index starts with what here? 0. You can also have your own access labels. Okay. So pandas dot series, I'm trying to create a series with a list of values, and I try to define index labels. Index equal to some A, and this is B, and this is C, D, and one more is a E. So I can also read it by using my own access label, that is customized labels. S2 of A and S2 of B, S2 of A, S2 of B, and S2 of which one here? C, and S2 of which one here? D, and S2 of E. Now these are customized labels. Okay. These are what here customized labels. Okay, these are customized labels. Now you can give your own access labels to access the values from what series. Either you can use a numeric index. I can also use numeric index S2 of 0, S2 of 1, S2 of 0, S2 of 1, S2 of 2, S2 of 3, and S2 of what is that? 4. Now this is how many values you read? 5 values by using index. If you give your own index, that doesn't mean that you change the index, right? So internally, every value is given numeric index, which starts with what? 0. But you can also give the custom labels. Okay, you can also give what here custom labels, and the custom label starts from where here A. So where I said here S2 of A, S2 of A is a 10. Now this is the first value, and S2 of B is nothing but 20. This is second value. S2 of C is nothing but 30, and S2 of D is nothing but 40, and S2 of E is nothing but what here 50, right? Next is reading multiple elements or values from series. Now series allows to read multiple elements by defining index labels within what list. If you want to read more than one value, you have to define those values as what? List. If you want to read more than one value, you have to define those values as what? List. So series allows reading multiple elements by using or by defining index labels within the list, and you are defining that index labels within the list, right? So to read multiple values. Now suppose I'm creating a series. Now S1 equal to pandas dot. What is that here? Series. S1 equal to pandas dot series. I'm creating a series using range. So 10 comma 1, 10 comma 10. Now this is having how many values here? 10 values are there. The series is having how many values here? 10 values. And if you want to read the specific, more than one value, S1 of, I want to read the value at 0. I want to read the value at 5. I want to read the value at 8. I want to read the value at 3. I want to read the value at what? 9. Okay. So this is reading one value or more than one value? More than one. But you are defining those indexes as what here list. I read the value at 10. Value at 0. What is the value at 0? 10. What is the value at 5? 60. I read the value at 8. What is the value at 8? 90. What is the value at 9? 100. So value at 0 is 10. Value at 5 is 60. Value at 8 is 90. Value at 9 is what? 100. So you can also give multiple labels. You can give it. So pandas dot series. I create a series with the names here. So there is a names. So this is series of names. Okay, so I try to give the index labels here. So there is a name 1, and I just write here name 2, and this is access label, which is called as a name 3. So each value is given one label. So that is name 1, name 2, and name 3. So if you want to read multiple names, I can read S2 of, okay, I want to read, okay, name 1, comma, I want to read name 3. I want to read name 1 and name 3. So what is the name 1 here? Naresh. And what is the name 3 here? Rajesh. So you can read it by giving this access labels within the list. Okay, list of subscripts. You can call it as list of subscripts or list of what? Indexes. List of subscripts are the same thing. You can call it as list of indexes. Now series allows slicing to read multiple elements or what is that? Values. Even you can use multiple elements can be read by using which one? Slicing. Slicing also can do it. So I create a series by saying pandas dot series. Now 10 comma 1 10 comma 10 here. Now once you run this, now the series is having how many values? 10 values are there. Now I want to read it. I want to read first 3 values or first 5 values colon 5. So this will read first 5 values. Okay, I want to read last 5 values. Okay, S1 off. So I can write minus 5 colon. Now this will read last 5 values. 60, 70, 80, 90, and what is that? 100. So this will read the first 5 values and this will read the last 5 values. And if you want to read the values from the given range, S1 off, I want to read all the values except the first 3 values and last 3 values. I just write 3 colon minus 3, which is 40, 50, 60, and one more value is 70. Now this is how you are trying to read it by using which object here? Series. Now series, it followed by which one? Range. And this will range generate how many values? 10 values, right? So this is how you read it. But this is simple usage of which one? Series. So this is simple usage of which one? Series, right? So there is one more data structure you have, I said. And what is another data structure you have is a data frame. But most of the times in data science, you'll try to use which one? Data frame. So because data frame represents what? Data frame represents what here? Table. Data frame represent what here? Table. Table, right? Data frame represent what? Table. So when you're saying a table, so table contain the data represented in the form of rows and columns. Okay, the data, see whatever you do in relational database table, all the things you can do on what? Data frame. If you take this as one data frame, okay, if you take this is data frame, assume that this data frame represent whose data, assume that this data frame represent some employee data. If this data frame represent whose data? Employees data. Now you can do some analysis. What is analysis? You can find out. What you can find? Maximum salary. You can find out which one minimum salaries. You can find out which one average salary. You can find total salaries department wise. Total salaries, how department wise. You want to find out the total salaries, which one job wise. I want total salary department wise, total salaries what? Job wise. And total salaries, assume that. Suppose maximum salary, which one? Job wise. Minimum salary, job wise. Maximum salary in department, minimum salary in what? Department. All these are what? Analysis. You are applying certain functions or not? Yes. Group by. Now I want to display. Okay, I want to display employee details. Display employee details. Which one here? Job wise. So display employee details. Display employee details. Display employee details. What is that? Department wise. Display employee details job wise. Display employee department details job wise. You can do grouping. You can do grouping. And one more is what? Joining. And you can do which one here? Merging. You can do grouping, joining, as well as what? Merging. All these operations, what you do on relational database table, all the operations you can do in what? Data frame. Whatever operations you are doing on relational database table, all the operations you are doing in what is that? Data frame. Data frame means you'll be loading a table data into what? Data frame. So data frame is a two-dimensional array object with heterogeneous data. Data frame is a two-dimensional array object with heterogeneous data. In data frame, data is stored in the form of rows and what? Columns. How the data is stored in data frame? The data is stored in data frame in the form of rows and columns, right? So how to create a data frame? So data frame can be created using series and can be created using list and using dictionary, using numpy array from another data frame, and data frame can be created from files by loading the data inside a data frame file from files like CSV file, JSON file, table, okay, database table, okay. You can load all the data into a data frame and perform some analysis. So data frame is a type or class name to create which object here? Data frame object. So what is the syntax of this data frame is? Data frame, it followed by what here? Data. So data is nothing but you represent data by using series. You represent data using what here? List. You represent data using what? Dictionary. You represent data using what here? NumPy. You can represent data from another data frame. You can represent data by reading the data from where? Files. Okay, you can represent data by reading the data from files or reading data from where? Database. So data frame, it followed by data, index, columns, and data type. Now index represent row labels and columns represent what here? Column labels. Row access labels and column access labels. So data is taken from various sources, and index is nothing but row access labels, and columns is nothing but column access labels, and D type represent data type of each column. D type represent data type of each column, right? So data type of each column is represented using what? D type. So D type represent data type of each column, right? Now here, this is creating what here? Empty data frame. This is creating empty data frame. How you are creating empty data frame? You are simply writing pandas dot. So you are creating empty data frame. So you are creating empty data frame, right? But how you are creating an empty data frame? You are just without giving a source. So I'm just writing here data frame 1 equal to pandas dot. Pandas dot, what is it here? Data frame. So this is creating which one here? Empty data frame. But are you given any data source for this? No. There is no data source for this. Now you can see data frame is created. But is it this data frame is having any columns here? No. Is it this data frame is having any rows here? No. There's no columns and there is no rows. There's no data. Empty data frame, no column headers, and there is no row headers. But if you want, you can define with the row headers as well as what? Column headers. So creating a data frame using dictionary. So dictionary consists of key and what? Values. And dictionary keys as a column headers and values as what? Column values. Just here. Dictionary consists of key and values and dictionary keys as a column headers and values as what here? Column values. Keys as a column headers and values as values in that particular column. For example, so there is a EMP dictionary, right? So dictionary is there. So dictionary doesn't provide data analysis related functionality, but data frame will provide data analysis related functionality. So EMP dictionary is having employee number and these are employee numbers. Okay. Comma is having employee name. So is a key and these are the list of employee names. These are the list of employee names. These are the list of employee names. And there is one more which is called as a salary. And you have a list of salaries. So these are what here? Salaries here. Now just see here. Now this you can call it as a dictionary. So employee dictionary is having employee number is a key and list of employee numbers as what? Values. Employee name as a key and list of names are what? Values. Salary is a key and list of salaries as what? Values. Now, if you convert this employee data frame, I'm converting this dictionary into what here? Data frame. So data frame, I'm creating data frame using employee dictionary. So in that case, what will happen here if you convert this? So it will take the employee number as a column name and the employee number says what here? Values. So this you can call it as column header and these are the values in that particular column. Employee name is a column header and employee names are the values inside that column and salary is a column header. Salary is a column header and salaries are the values in that column, right? So 65,000 and 78,000, 89,000 like this, 45,000. So this you can call it as column header and the values in that column. And this is called as a column header and values in that column. And this is called as a column header and these are values in that column. So that is employee number, employee name, and one more is what here? Salary. Okay, right. Now I'll try to print employee data frame. So once you run this employee data frame, I can see the employee data frame is having employee numbers and these are employee names and these are what here? Salaries. Now this you can call it as column labels and these are called as which labels? Row labels. If you want to change the row labels, you can change it by using which one here? Index. So index equal to E1 employee 1. So E1 I'm just writing E2. I'm just writing E3. I'm writing E4. Then I'm writing EN5. So these are the row access labels which starts with E1. So this is nothing but employee 1, employee 2, employee 3, employee 4, and employee 5. So employee 1, employee 2, employee 3, employee 4, and one more is an employee 5, right? Yes. So you can also give. Now you can create a data frame using list also. But if you want to create a data frame using list, if you want to create a data frame using list, you have to use which one here? Nested list. If you want to create a data frame using list, you have to create a nested list. So nested list means each list inside a list is one row. Okay, each list inside a list is represented as one row. Okay. So if you want to create a data frame using nested list, so there is a person list. So person list is having person name, that is name of the person and age of the person. Okay, name of the person and age of the person. So there is a name of the person and there is a age of the person. So there is a list, and inside this list, how many lists are there? 3 lists are there. This is a first list and this is a second list and this is what here? Third list. Okay, now I want to convert this into what? Data frame. So there is a person data frame and pandas dot, I'm saying data frame. I'm creating a data frame using person list, comma, I can give the column names, columns. So what is the first column here? Name. And what is the second column here? Age. The first column is a name and second column is a age. Then I try to display the person data frame. Person data frame, right? So this person data frame is having name. So these are the values in which column? Name column. And these are the values in which column? Age column. These are the values in which column? Name column. And these are the values in which column? Age column, right? So just try to understand this. Now, sometimes you may create a data frame using some missing data. Now, missing data is identified with the NAN or NONE. If the data is missing, that is identified. If the data is missing, that is identified with NAN. NAN means what? Not a number. What is the meaning of NAN here? NAN stands for not a number. NAN indicates here not a number. NAN stands for not a number here. So NAN indicates not a number here. So that indicates that, okay, this data is what here? Missing. For example, so in the previous example, now suppose Kishore age is missing. Kishore what here? Age is missing here. Only name is there. Now what is the value it is written here? NAN. Okay. Because this particular value is missing or not? Yes. So missing data is represented. If it is a number, it is with NAN, which is called as a not a number. If it is a number, it's not a number. NAN. Even though it is, for example, assume that EMP dictionary is there. An employee dictionary is having some name is there. Now you can also represent this as a list of dictionaries. Okay, so there is a name. Okay, name is a key. Okay, name is a key. Okay, name is a key here. And name is a value. Name of that person is value. And age is a key. Age of that person is what again? Value. So I'm representing each row as one dictionary. List of dictionaries. List of what here? Dictionaries. Now Suresh, only name is there, but age is missing. And there is one more person who's having only age, but which one is missing? Name is missing. Then I'm trying to create. So assume that employee data frame equal to pandas dot data frame, and I'm creating a data frame using employee dictionary. And after that, I'm trying to display the employee data frame. Now if you see this employee data frame, so name is missing, and here which one is missing? Age is missing, right? Now reading or loading data from MS Excel. So how can I load the data into data frame? How can I load the data from data frame? Okay, from MS Excel. MS Excel, which is nothing but worksheet. MS Excel is nothing but worksheet, right? MS Excel is a worksheet here. Okay, right now, just try to understand this. Okay, so how can you read a load data from MS Excel? So what you do first is you create one worksheet. So where I'm trying to create a worksheet with some roll numbers are there here. Okay, some roll numbers are there. And there is a names. And there is also what here? Course. So there is a course like Python, Java, C, and C++. And there is one more course called Oracle. So this is a roll numbers list here. And this is a names list here. And this is a course list here. Okay. Now I want to load this data I want to load this data into what? Data frame. What I want is, I want to load this data into a data frame, save this. So there is a book one, and I try to save on desktop here. So book one has saved on the desktop. Suppose here, what you have to do is, you have to import the file first, upload the file first, right? So you have to upload it. Upload where? I'm trying to upload because we are working on cloud. We have to upload the file in what? Cloud, and then only I can use it. So upload the file here. And where is the file? In desktop. And what is the name of the file here? Book one. So first you upload the file. Now book one is uploaded here. And after uploading the file, now what you can do is you can write the code. So this is student data frame equal to pandas dot. So pandas dot, what is it? I'm using read. What is the name of this here? Read Excel. Okay. What is the name of this here? Read Excel. And read Excel, it followed by the name of the book. So I'm saying book one dot Excel SX. Now this book will have number of sheets. This book will have number of sheets, right? But by default, it will load the data from which sheet? Sheet 1. By default, it will load the data from which sheet? Sheet 1. I'm just writing student data frame. Now you can see the data is loaded from what here? Sheet 1 of this book 1.excel SX. Now this is having roll number, name, and one more is what? Course. Okay, assume that this book is also having another sheet. Okay, this book is also having another sheet, right? Book 1. So it is having another sheet. So where there is a employees data. So employee number, name. So these are employee numbers. Okay. Okay, these are the employee numbers here. So there is the employee numbers. And these are the name of the employees. Okay. So these are the name of the employees. Suppose this is what here? Sheet 2. I want to load the data from sheet 2 here. What you can do is, you can refresh this. You can refresh this, refresh. Because you have done some changes or not? Yes. You have done some changes, right? Okay, you have done some changes. You have to refresh this, or you have to delete and then you have to upload what? Again. Okay. So I want to create, what is it again? Employee data frame equal to pandas dot. What is it here? Read Excel. You are reading from book 1 dot Excel SX. Comma, I can give what here? Sheet name. Okay. I have to give what here? Sheet name. And sheet name equal to which sheet here? Sheet 2. I want to load from which sheet here? Sheet 2. And this is which data? Employee data. So once I run this, not refreshed. We'll upload again. Okay. So you can see this is employment, student data. This is student data and this is which data? Employee data. So this data is loaded from which sheet here? Sheet 2. But by default, it will load the data from which sheet? Sheet 1. By default, it will load the data from what? Sheet 1. But here we try to load the data from which one? Sheet 2, right? Try to load the data from sheet 2. Now here given the sheet name. What is the name of the sheet here? Sheet 2 here, right? Then now selecting the data, after loading the data, you may select the data. Now the data can be selected as a rows in the form of rows. The data can be selected in the form of what here? Columns. So there might be a row selection. So there might be a row selection. They might be what here? Column selection. So there are two selections are there. One is a row selection and one more is what? Column selection. Now selecting columns from the data frame can be done using which one here? Column headers. Selecting columns from data frame can be done using column headers, right? So column headers are there. Now this is a data. So there is a list of data here. So here already we take the data, right? Okay, now if you take this is a data loaded from what? Excel. Now if I'm writing print, actually whenever you read a column, it will return the column as a series. If you read one column, it will return that column as what here? Series. I'm saying student data frame of, so I want to read. So these are the columns here, roll number, name and course. I want to read which one? Names. But actually it will return this as what here? One series. It will return this as what here? Series. Now I want to read courses. Now student data frame of, as this right here, name. Okay, student data frame of name, comma, student data frame. Okay, student data frame of, what is it? Another one? Course. So I try to read how many columns here? 2 columns. So this is the first column and this is what here? Second column. But if you want to read multiple columns, you can define the column names as a list, right? So I want to read a name. I want to read a name, comma. I can read a column called which one? Course. Now this will return one data frame. So this will return one more data frame, which is having name as well as what? Course. If you read one column, it will return as one series. If you read one column, it will return as a series. But if you read multiple columns, see here, in order to read multiple columns, the column names must be defined as what? List. It return multiple columns as a one data frame, but it will return single column as what here? Series. It will return multiple columns as what here? Data frame, but it will return single column as what here? Series. So column addition can be done. Adding a new column to the existing data frame. How can you add a new column? For example, this is a data which is represented as dictionary. Same, the way how you are adding in dictionary, in the same way you can add a column in what? Data frame. The way how you are adding a key and value in dictionary, in the same way you add a column with the values in what? Data frame. You add a column name with the value in a data frame, right? So how can you do this? See here. See, all this you do when you go for data science. Until unless you're not working with the data science, there's no use of NumPy and Pandas. If you are working with Django, nowhere use Pandas and NumPy. Okay, you'll use only list, set, dictionaries, right? You don't use NumPy and Pandas. When you use NumPy, Pandas only when you're working with the data science and artificial intelligence. Otherwise, no. Getting on. So data analysis, when you're doing that, then only use NumPy and Pandas. Otherwise, you don't use NumPy and pandas. So you can read it. You can add a column here. For example, I take a data. Data is a dictionary. So there is a column 1. So column 1 is having some 3 values. And there is a column 2. And the column 2 is having how many values? 3 values. So I'm creating a data frame by saying pandas dot data frame using what here? Data. So I just print the content of data frame. So this data frame is having how many columns here? 2 columns. So that is a column 1 and one more is a column 2. One is a column 1, the other one is a column 2. Okay, this is a column 1. So there is a username and what is that here? Password is there. Okay, now this is column 1 and this is a column 2, right? I want to add one more column here. So what I can do? Data frame of column 3. Data frame of column 3 equal to data frame of column 1. You want to add one column, right? You can add directly. You can add it directly by saying yes. Pandas dot series, or you can give a list also. Instead of series, you can give the list also. So I just write here 100, 200 and 300. So then print. So what I'm doing, I'm printing a data frame. So once you print the data frame, so the data frame is having how many columns here? 3 columns. That is column 1 and column 2 and one more is what? Column 3. Column 1, column 2 and column 3. Now you can add 2 columns and create one more column by saying data frame of column 4. Column 4 equal to data frame of column 1 plus data frame of column 1 plus data frame of column 2. So I just print data frame which is having column 1. Column 1 is there and column 2, column 3 and one more is what? Column 4. So how many columns are there here? 4 columns. Column 1, column 2, column 3 and column 4. Column deletion also you can do it. The column deletion is done using delete keyword. The column deletion is done using delete keyword. It allows deleting one or more than one column. The column is deleted with column name or column label. The column deletion is done using delete keyword. It allows deleting one or more than one column. The column is deleted with column name or column label. You are saying import pandas as this. And if you want to delete a specific column, you delete it. For example, I want to delete column 1. Delete data frame of. So I want to delete which column? Column 1. So data frame. So delete column 1. So after deleting column 1, I'll display the data frame here. That is after deleting column 1. So this data frame contain column 2, column 3 and one more is a column 4. So how many columns are there in the data frame? 3 columns. That is column 2, column 3, and column 4. So that is done by using deletion, right? Now column adding, column deleting, and columns reading. So reading the columns, adding the columns, and deleting the columns. In the same way, row reading can be done, adding is done, as well as what? Deletion is done. Now each row is identified with what? Index, or each row is identified with what? Label. We can read rows from data frame using index. We can read rows from data frame using index or what? Label. And data frame provide two methods to perform this operation. First one is location and second one is what? Allocation. Location, LOC is used to read the rows using what? Label. And allocation is used to read the rows using what? Index. You can read it by using labels, or you can read it by using what here? Index. So I'll try to take student data, pandas dot read Excel. I read from Excel, book one dot Excel SX, right? Okay. So case sensitive, right? Now student data. Now I want to read a specific row. Now I can say student data dot. What is that location? I location is it? Allocation of 0. Allocation of 0 means you are trying to read which row here? First row. This is the first row. Roll number is 1, Naresh, and one more is what? Python. So print, I can write student data of index location. Allocation is nothing but what here? Index location of. I just write a 2 here. It will try to read the third student. And who's the third student here? Rajesh was doing which one? C language. You can read it by using index location. You can read it by using index location, or you can read it. You can read it by using index location, some data frame. So pandas dot data frame. I'm creating a data frame using a dictionary. So this is a column 1. So column 1 is having 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. And there is a column 2. So the column 2 is having the list of values here 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what I can do is I can define the index here. So index, I'm giving A1 and A2. So these are access labels for rows, and A3, A4, and one more is what here? A5. So I try to display the data frame. Now you can see there is a column 1, column 2, but here you have an index labels like A1, A2, A3 like that. You have an index labels A1, A2, A3 like that. Okay, A1, A2, A3 like that. Okay. So if you want to read it by using access labels, you can say data frame dot location, you can use it. Location of A1. So this will read by using label. A1 is a label, right? So it will read the first value. Okay, first row. And if I say print data frame dot location, I location means index, but location is using access labels like A1, A2, and what is that? A3. So you can read like this. And I location is index location, and location is that. Now slicing is used, even slicing is used to read more than one row. If you want to read multiple rows, you can take the help of which one? Slicing also. So print data frame of, I can give 0 colon, 0 colon, what is that? 3. So I'm reading how many rows here? 3 rows here, A1, A2, and A3. So you can read one or more than one row, right? But if you want to read more than one row, you can take the help of what? Slicing. Now, how can you add a row? Now you can add a row. After creating data frame, we can add a new row using which method? Append method. And this method will add a row at the end of what? Data frame. So you are saying data frame dot append. So you are trying to represent what here? Row. But a row can be represented as another data source by using which you can add either one row or more than one row. You can add either one row or more than one row. You can add, for example, student data is there. To the student data, I want to add one row. Okay, one row or more than one row. So I am representing the data as a list. So what is this here? First one is a roll number, which is 6, and the name of the student. So this is the name of the student, and this is what your course of the student. So one more student I'm representing, roll number is a 7. Okay, now there is a name of the student, and there is what here course of the student. Okay, now I want to add this. I want to add this to the student data frame. So student data dot, what is this here? Append. What you are appending here? Data frame. And here I'm representing columns. So there is a column. What is the first column? Roll number. What is the second column? Name. Okay. So first column is a roll number, and second column is a name, and third column is what here? Course. And after that, I'm saying student data. So I try to display the student data here. Append. That's all. You represent as one data frame. So this data should be represented as what? Data frame. So pandas dot. So I created data frame using this data, comma what here? Columns. So here data should be represented as data frame, and then you append it. So you can see, where is that here? Append. After append, so after append, it will return one more. It will return one more data frame, right? Now you can see. Okay, so there is a Rama and there is what here? Raj. But is the changes are done in the same data frame or in the new data frame? New data frame. The changes are not done in the same data frame. The changes are done in what here? new data frame. So this is adding one row. And if you want to delete a rows from the data frame, you are using delete. Deletion of rows done using a method called which one? Drop is there. It delete only one row, and deleting is done using row label or what? Index. But after deleting, it will return one new data frame. Okay, after deleting, because in this case, row deletions are immutable. Row deletions are immutable to what? Data frame. Adding or immutable. See, rows are immutable to the data frame. I mean, if you are deleting it, the deleting will not be done in the data frame, but it will do in a one more new data frame is written. If I want to remove it, I can remove it. Okay. I want to remove it. If I want to remove it, I can remove it by using a drop. I said stud data frame dot, what is a drop 0? So drop 0 means I should remove which row? First row. And I try to print student data. So once you print the student data, now is it removed the first one? No. It's immutable, but the changes are done in what? New data frame. So the changes are done in the new data frame. I just display the new data frame. Now is it first row is deleted or not? Yes. So it is immutable. Rows, it is immutable, right? And head and tail methods of what? Data frame. By using head and tail methods, you can read. Suppose head means header rows, tail means what? Last rows. Head means top rows and tail means last rows. If you want to read specific number of rows and at the top as well as what? Bottom, I can use a method called head. I can use a method called header. I can use a method called which one? Tail. Okay. If I want to read top rows, now if I'm saying print, okay, stud data frame dot, I'm saying head. If I don't give any number of rows, it will read first 10 rows. It will read first 10 rows, but my data frame is having how many rows? 5 rows out there. So it is displayed all. But if I say 3, then it will display how many rows? First 3 rows. Now you can see first 3 rows are displayed. In the same way, if I'm saying print std data dot which one? Tail. So if I say tail, it will display the last 10 rows. But are you, I mean, is it your data frame is having 10 rows? No, only 5 rows out of it. Okay. Suppose if I say 2, I want to display last 2 rows. Now it is displayed last 2 rows, that is 4 and 5. But if I don't give the number of rows and number of rows in the head and tail, by default it will return how many rows? 10 rows and top 10 rows and bottom 10 rows. Tail will return bottom 10 rows, head will return top 10 rows. If I don't give the number of rows to be read, if I don't give the number of rows to be read, it will read first 10 rows and last 10 rows. So that is done by using head and tail methods of data frame. Then we'll see other operations on data frame, like statistical operations on what? Data frame, but tomorrow we'll see it. Okay. So after completing this, I'll tell you socket programming. That is nothing but network programming and garbage collection, right? So we'll see tomorrow that. Today we'll stop it here and tomorrow we'll continue this, right? Thank you. We'll see tomorrow. Right. Tell me. Yes. Logging also, I'll tell you. Okay. Right. Logging also will see here. Oh,